All right, let's talk about Isaiah Simmons, now in his third year for the Arizona Cardinals, and I think he's had a very unique career up until this point. So if you look at his Pro Football Focus grades, which again, I know PFF grades not for everybody, but I just want to talk about it in his case because I think it's very fascinating where you see PFF has not been a huge fan of him. And the reason why I want to bring this up is anytime I talk about any linebacker, it always feels like we can never decide if they're good or not. If for whatever reason, linebacker is the position where there's the most variance in opinions on basically every single linebacker. And so, I watch tape and I, will give my opinions on the player. I'm sure plenty of you watch tape and give your opinions on the player. So let's just get a third party in here to see what they feel about Isaiah Simmons. And they've felt like it's not been a great career, but he did have his best year and an actual solid season in 2022. His run defense, they've never been a huge fan of, but below average grades all 3 seasons. And, the worst was 2021, but actually the best was 2020, his rookie year, oddly enough. Other than that, he's been fine. I mean, his coverage was pretty good. 69.9 is a pretty solid grade, good pass rusher. So there's some things to like, but he hasn't been a star necessarily. Hasn't lived up to the hype for sure. Obviously, they did not pick up his 5th-year options, which kind of makes sense given the price tag it would be at. So let's talk about Simmons as a player. What are the good with him? What are the bad with him? And how do we view him as a player? So first, I want to start off with this play. It's going to be zone coverage, and it's actually designed to pick on Simmons a little bit, where you run a play action, but then the target is going to be to the other side of the field. It's going to be Adam Thielen running in that direction. So the idea is the play action gets Simmons out of position, as it's going to be a play action towards the bottom of the screen, and when he's out of position, you flip it to the other side of him. That's the way this is designed to work. And right when this play begins, you see it's sort of working, right? I mean, not even really sort of. It's working. You have a window to get the ball to Thielen. This is something that you're hoping works out. But here is where, when the Cardinals drafted Simmons, he's going to show why they drafted him when they drafted him. Watch as he is able to really get up to a top speed very quickly and make a quick tackle. I don't know how many players don't give up a first down on that play, but Simmons is one of them. So right off the bat, his athleticism definitely allows him to make plays that other guys just aren't capable of making. And I think for the first time really last year, we kind of saw him be able to more consistently make those types of plays. Like, for example, in the blitzing department, we saw him really be able to thrive. And you saw the PFF grades, right? You saw how they were big fans of him as a blitzer. And that's kind of the biggest takeaway they had from him this year as opposed to previous years is his ability to do so. So on this play, he is going to be blitzing. That's the way it works, where, you have, ideally, this could be a straight shot towards the quarterback where it's still only going to be a 5-man rush. But given how many players are near the line, you don't know who's going to be blocking, and it's going to be you don't know who's going to be rushing, excuse me. You know who's going to be blocking for the most part. But the right guard is going to eventually be the guy who should pick up Simmons, but it's hard, right? I mean, you don't know which guy to block. There is someone right in your face lined up right in front of you. That's who you're looking at first. So when he drops back in the coverage, Simmons comes over, and again, guard gets relatively in position, but Simmons is so quick, he's able to take advantage of that little bit of room that he has and get himself in pretty good position. Now, the guards could still potentially push Simmons out of the way, and as you see, he does a little, but not enough. Simmons actually gets to the football, and the Cardinals are able to fall on it as well. It was him who fell on it. So really good stuff from Simmons. Again, he showed some flashes for sure, and these are the kind of flashes that he just wasn't showing a ton of, and you still saw occasionally year 1 and 2, but I think he kind of kept himself afloat more with the regular stuff, and because of that was able to look better for sure in year 3. However, we do have to talk some negatives. He still is not a finished product, and the reality is you still see some plays with Simmons that makes you wonder how he's even in the NFL. Makes him look like a fringe NFL player, which is crazy to think about with a guy who has the athleticism that he has and will make the plays that he has, that he also will have the blunders that he has, like this one, covering Juju Smith-Schuster one-on-one, which, listen, that's not so easy to do. Juju Smith-Schuster is a good receiver, and he's a linebacker, so that's a mismatch, right? It is. However, I'm just going to show this play. Watch how much separation he gives Juju Smith-Schuster there. I mean, he's not even close to being in position to cover Juju Smith-Schuster. So listen, getting beat by Smith-Schuster, there is no shame in. Sometimes you get beat by Smith-Schuster. It happens. I'm not going to crush you for it. But getting beat as badly as you did is kind of where I say, okay, yeah, that's where things are a little bit tougher. Like this one's going to be another one where it's going to be him covering Travis Kelce one-on-one in this situation. So again, have to preface this with saying, if he covered Travis Kelce one-on-one, that's a great play, right? But at the same time, if you're a linebacker, you do have to, on some reps, be able to cover Travis Kelce if you're covering him, right? Like, and sometimes you have to be able to win that matchup. However, as you see here, I mean, he just completely, is nowhere near Kelce. I mean, I'm going to pause it right when Kelce makes the catch, and he's what? 4 yards away, maybe 5 yards away when you count how off to the side he is as well. I mean, this is nowhere close. And to be honest, this ball was kind of intentionally underthrown because Mahomes saw how much space he had. I mean, it could have been even more yards, but Mahomes just made sure he took the layup right here. This is a disaster of a play from Simmons, and he will make these plays relatively frequently, which is kind of what probably drives you crazy if you're a Cardinals fan, is the highs are so high, but the lows are very low. And also to talk about the running game, I mean, it's a consistency thing. To me, he doesn't really get himself way out of position in the running game, at least not anymore. But he definitely will leave himself open to get blocked. That's kind of something that definitely happens with him. Whereas like something like this, you see how it's going to be Travis Kelce who's going to be the one who is going to be blocking him on this play. And watch how when the ball is snapped, you see Kelce move up, and he's in position to block Simmons, but that's okay. Hey, Simmons, make a move, right? Or, push him around, figure out a way to get past Travis Kelce. Kelce, okay, there's no shame in getting beat by him when you're trying to cover him. But when he's blocking, that's not really what he's known for. This is something you could definitely win at, and you hope that you can win at it. And for Simmons, he tries to make a move and can't really do it that well, isn't able to make the play, which again, okay, it's fine. You got beat, it happens. It's not a disastrous play or anything like that, but this is just kind of how I view Simmons, he's a very unique player, and I do feel like the Cardinals have at times used him differently, and I think that if you can find a way to, get with his athleticism and use his athleticism without having him be right near the line, where I think he struggles a lot more. I think he's better when he's a little bit further away. That's kind of maybe what the best idea would be for Simmons. I really don't know what to make of Simmons, to be honest. He's a very unique player and a very odd player, I would say. There's not no value in a guy like Simmons, but he's definitely not someone who's just going to play shutdown defense for 60 snaps a game. That's just not his game. He'll play, maybe play below average football for 30 of those snaps, but then play really good football for 15 of those snaps and make splash plays during that. So how do you value that player, and what do you make of that player? I don't know. It's very interesting. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Isaiah Simmons as a player for the Cardinals. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.